would want to do that because you probably wouldn't ever want to do that. Like, you wouldn't ever want to, like, make somebody conform. But that is really the way that they're approaching it. And it's just fucked up. It's like, you can look at it in the most idealistic way and say, oh yeah, they really want to, like you can look at all the positive points and say they really want to see all opposing views, but that doesn't match up with their prime objective. Their prime objective is to make everybody conform to their own ideology. And that's where I get very combative and very hostile and antagonistic. Like, ESTJs to me, like, we are like a force that can never mix. Like, I always clash with them in every single conversation.
Would you clash with Chef Ramsay?
Sorry?
Chef Ramsay, would you clash with him?
Chef Ramsay. I think I've seen him.
Chef Gordon Ramsay. Watching that show.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's ESTJ.
I don't know. I like the mature ESTJs. I can just relate to, but like anybody who hasn't even like developed their inferior functions, who haven't developed their extroverted intuition, it's just like, to me, it's just like, you are an exercise in futility. I'm not going to waste my time with you.
That's the thing. I told my my classmate that's the FIDOM one. I told her, don't worry about this other girl or anybody else. The best advice I have is, like, try to work on yourself and focus on yourself, and just try to have a little more. I told her a bunch of like different points and stuff because I had the same struggles. But like, don't take things personally, and then at the same time, don't really care what they're doing. If you do what you gotta do and do everything right, you don't have to worry about anything. They can say all the shit they want, but they can't argue facts. That's like basically what I was trying to tell her. Like, you know, I try to be nice, I try to be, you know, considerate, polite, I try to give mutual respect to people. But I don't have to give you more than that, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense, and I think you're taking the most like mature approach to it, really. But like when you boil down their objective and what they plan to do with that, it's a completely different story. Like I try to be nice too, but I already know from my predictive modeling that trying to be nice doesn't work with the ESTJs. They take advantage of that at every single second they can.
I noticed that, and I just keep my wall up.
Yeah, I mean, my wall's like never vulnerable in any second whatsoever. But they have a certain way of manipulating the views of everybody in the environment, and they want to do that at the expense of your own opinion. Not only at the expense of your own opinion, but at the expense of diminishing it and completely putting it down in a vulgar, trivial, and mocking way. And that's where I see who they are. Like that's where I see what their objective really is. But like, that's their plan. Their plan of attack is to crush you, so they can wipe you out. And every single sort of...
I feel like energy like that... Sorry.
Like every single sort of amicable, like, kind of friendly way of speaking to them is just an opportunity for them to take advantage of you.
Yeah, I see that point. I feel like energy like that can be so useful if it's put into, like, the right... I don't want to say fields, but like if they have like, I feel like that focus and that energy and that determination, that could be like channeled into really something like super awesome if it fits for them. You know what I mean? Like if it's not at the expense of another person.
Yeah.
Like.
But their ideology is already so consumed by conventional attitudes, cultural attitudes. because culture is the product of their attitude. Like any ESTJ, like I've looked at so many ESTJs from all over the world, from Morocco, Italy, Sweden, Finland, Norway, Europe, all over Europe, Asia. I've looked at the way that they operate, and the way that they operate is to try to manipulate the value system of everybody watching.
Really
interesting. It's not coming. It's not coming from any intrinsic source. They just want to control. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, no, I think my stepdad is one too, but he's a lot more. I feel like he's more honest, if that makes sense, like more straightforward about shit. And he is super anal about like organizing like things, and he gets micromanaging. And it's like in a family, it's like a family joke, like, you need to back off, like calm down. You can't control everything. Like cooking. I forgot what it was. Like someone's in the kitchen and they're cooking, he'll come in and tell them what to do, and like, you know what, why don't you cook? It's like, we love you, but you gotta chill. Does that make sense? Like, it's not they mean well. They feel
sorry.
They like, for him, he means well. He like wants to do everything the best that he sees, and following protocols that seem to work seems like the best assured way for things. Like, he's very aware of safety and physical things, which I'm very abstinent about. That like.
But he'll get really stupid to me. Like, it's just like, if you use your brain to think of novel ways to approach a situation, you will be able to come up with better ways. But they don't have that capacity. Like, any sort of opposition to the procedural way or the way that things have been done in this kitchen or this corporation.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to think that that's the only way, and they will antagonize you until you until like they.
That's why you gotta tell him, chill down, back off. Like, but at the same time, maybe because he's older, he's like, I noticed there's like he calls like secret techniques. He's learned how to do something a little different way that makes the process faster. I'm like, oh, that's neat. I can cook this way, and it makes it easier. So I don't know, maybe because he's older.
0.2 microseconds or something. It's
but it makes the job like. Well, no. It's like, it's helpful for me with cleaning because I don't like to do a lot of cleaning, and it saves time. So I don't know, maybe it's boring. I find it interesting. I'm like, oh, this makes my laziness even more better. If that makes sense. But
no, that makes sense. I think I should listen to you a little more, because I am biased against ESTJs enormously. So I notice my own flaws and my own logic of attacking the arguments of ENTJs, because I'm just so biased against them. So like, I really do need to listen to the way that they think a little more. And you are helping me understand them a bit.
Yeah, I'm glad. As the other thing, I feel like every type or whatever, or person, there's a healthy version, which is, I feel like they're amazing, and then there's the negative one, and they're like from hell. You know what I mean? Like, an INFP, like, I guess we're more like the sulky type. We don't really push ourselves onto others, so it's not seeming like a problem. It's kind of more like quiet, mopey, sensitive, delusional, like not reality-based moping. And then if a type that is very well focused on other people, if they're unhealthy, they'll probably unhealthily push themselves onto people, because that's what they naturally do. They're like people persons. They need people, but they don't really know how to do it well, or how to interact in a more healthy way.
Yeah. I find I used to. Sorry.
Now, I was just going to quickly mention, with you saying with the ESTJs being with the people management and all those little manipulative things, I seen that in my classroom, the one I was talking about. The interesting thing is, everybody in the class, like before, in the beginning, it was all good because, you don't know them. and then they started showing such, I guess, motives. And the interesting is, like, my class is, like, divided. There's, like, two sides of the room. Basically, one side is all the ESFJ types more, and on the other side is more of the introverted. All the introverts is on one side, pretty much.
Right.
Introverted intuitives. They're, like, on one side of the room, and the other side is all the ESFJ or ESTJ. I think there's only one, though, to be honest. There's one introverted girl. I don't know what she is. I know she's, like, probably an SJ type. But they're a lot more. They have FE, which isn't a bad thing, but the other side has a little bit of a clash because, they see it as being fake or something like that. I'm like, it's just a different way of valuing.
Yeah.
And they mean well, the other ones. But the ESTJ one is unhealthy in a way, so she's kind of like, they see what she's doing. Like, all the stuff that you're saying, they all pick up on that. So it's kind of, it's weird, but it makes me remind me of, like, high school when I noticed all the, like, said quote-unquote popular kids. They usually are ESFJ, ISFJ, ISTJ kind of types. And when they have, like, those, I don't even know, you know what I mean? Like, when they have, like, those arguments and stuff.
I totally know what you mean.
It follows that same kind of thing. I'm like, weird.
I know, right? It's like something that introverted intuitives cannot relate to, because I think introverted sensors, like, they see social dynamics as reality. Like, they see group dynamics as reality. Like, so when they try to influence the environment through TE or FE, they consider that as, like, their ultimate, like, devotion to the group mentality. And it's like it's so hard for introverted intuitives to understand that, because they're operating from a mentality of individuality, where they see people as, like, wanting to incorporate their own views into how things work. But what introverted intuitives don't understand is the SI, or the dominant SI, or the auxiliary SI mentality sees groups as reality. They see that as that's how things work, and that's how we need to adjust to that. And it's like, no, you're just looking at it in this way that doesn't make sense to anybody, and you're trying to make everybody conform to it.
I guess, yeah, when it's unhealthy. Because, like, I've worked before with a girl, I'm pretty sure she was an ISFJ. I don't know, she was really cool. Like, she was just like...
Yeah, they are kind people. They are really kind. I know many ISFJs. They come to the Christmas, like, they come to set up the Christmas lights, like, even when they're in hospital and shit. Like, if they've got a broken leg, like, they will say to the nurse, they will disregard the nurse's advice and come to set up the Christmas lights in hospital and shit. So I can see that they're so kind, and all they care about is making sure that the group is, like, on par with each other. But they're lacking so much thinking that I can't respect that view. I really can't respect that view.
No. I don't know, for me, it's like, if there was no, like, sensors in this world, like, imagine a world full of, like, intuitives. Nothing would get done. Okay, more type, like, my type. Like, imagine if there's a world full of just everybody INFP. How long would that last?
It depends, really, because I think you're making the premature judgment that all INFPs lack their inferior function, which is extroverted thinking. So if they, like, utilize that to the extent that they could make systems work, they could make procedures work, just not in the way that ISTJs do it or ESTJs do it, then they could make things work just in a way that is so foreign to our understanding. Like, I really could see INFPs making it work. It just depends on whether they want to detach from their introverted feeling and really utilize